Right, okay, so today guys, I wanted to talk to you guys about, well, you're obviously going to know by the title of this video, the benefits of being single. Being single is not all bad, you guys. There's loads of good things that come with being single, which I feel like if you change your mindset to think about that more, when someone does come along, you'll kind of be like, like, you gotta be real special to make me wanna get into a relationship, do you know what I mean? Rather than like, oh my god, I'm alone, it's just me. This is a terrible life. I just need someone. I need someone to complete me. Like, babe, it's really not that deep. Like, live your life. Yeah, so before we get into the video, right, just a small elephant in the room. What could it be? Right, basically I got my hair done. It's probably been about 3 weeks, guys. It's actually been about almost 4 weeks now. This is great because it lets me emphasize my points a bit more. So, you know, if I'm like, what? Like, oh god, gloss, right? Like, say what? Like, no he didn't. Like, do you know what I mean? It just gives me that emphasis that like the slick back bun didn't let me do. So, yeah, you see, do you know what I mean? I could, right, I'm going to stop doing that because that's actually going to get annoying for you. Right, so yeah, before we get into the video, please follow me on Instagram at mlspeaks. I'm going to put some little snippets. Look at what you're missing out on. Yeah, please do follow me on Instagram, and obviously please do subscribe to my channel. My job right here is to deliver value that's going to help us to grow, myself included, in this big bad world we call the earth. So without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Point number one, okay, you do not need permission to do anything. I feel like people forget how good this is. If you wanted to move to South Africa tomorrow, you could do that. I mean, bar money, whatever issues, like, let's not get into that. I mean, you get to design your own life. You get to say, I want to live here, I want to do this, I want to do that. Do you know what I mean? You get to decide where you're going without having to compromise on anything to make someone else happy. When you're in a relationship, you can't just do things the way you want. You can't always do things when you want. Like, you have to take into consideration somebody else's feelings. And that sometimes can mean you have to be willing to flex on certain things. If there's any time in your life to experiment with things, to try new things, to try things out, like, to, not to say that you can't do this when you're in a relationship, but as in you have so much more, like, freedom to do that right now. Listen, you're trying to do that year abroad, you better do it now. Let me tell you, traveling by yourself is probably one of the best experiences you could do as a single person, because it's such a great opportunity to meet new people. But whoever you do meet, you're not obliged or obligated to hang out with them your whole holiday. Like, you completely can do what you want. What a time to be alive and be single. Seriously, don't look at it as a bad thing. Okay, number two, you have more flexibility. You're more flexible when you're single, and that really comes down to the fact that when you're single, you have more time to spend doing other activities because you don't need to have that time commitment to your partner, right? Like, when you're in a relationship, you need to consider that you need to be, you know, keeping in constant communication with your partner, you know, whether that's phone calls every night, FaceTiming, whether that's meeting up to arrange dates or outings or holidays. Do you know what I mean? All that extra time, not all of it, but a lot of that extra time does get dedicated to your partner. And so when you're single, like, babes, what are you doing with all this time? You are so much more flexible, seriously. Like, get a new hobby, make some new friends, join a community, join a new church, like, whatever. Like, get involved in things, because honestly, you are never going to have as much free time as you do right now. Have fun. Like, you don't need to be sitting at home moping about, like, oh, woe to me. Oh, in general as well, when you're single, to be honest, a lot of your other relationships can flourish more because you just have that additional time to spend with people. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, when you are married, you have a household, you're not going to be out with your friends as often. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Like, don't shoot the messenger. Like, that's just how it is. And that's not a problem, obviously, because you'll be in a household filled with love, etc, etc. But this is the time to have that fun with your friends, to like live it up.
Living up, living up, living up, living up.
But yeah, yeah. The third point, it's a really, really good opportunity to cement your identity, as in who you are without the influence of like other people, right? Obviously, I know we have friends, etc, 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 but when you have a partner, the opinions of your partner tend to weigh more in on the decisions that you make. But when you're single, honestly, it gives you such a good opportunity to identify who you are and who you want to be, okay? And it allows you that space and that room to become who you want to be. And I think, you know, honestly, when you are eventually in a really good relationship, like, yes, that person will, and both of you will help to develop each other even more. Well, that's the idea. You're supposed to want to help develop each other even more. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not in those kind of relationships, unfortunately. So it feels like some people regress. If you're not in a relationship where you and your partner actually develop each other in a positive way, you're not necessarily having that same growth. Do you know what I mean? But when you're single, this is the time where you really, really honestly have the best opportunity to become who you want to be. And in becoming who you want to be, you even get into a better mindset about the kind of person you want to be with anyway, right? Point number 4, for the Christian girls out here or the Christian guys out here, I personally think that it is easier to be abstinent when you're single than if you're in a relationship. If you're single and honestly you're just getting on with your life and you're just getting on with it, you really don't think about having sex very much, like very often. I'll be honest with you, like you don't, it's not something that just like crosses your mind. It's only when somebody now you like them, somebody now you like them, they've come into your life. Now, you know, things, there's attraction there, there's like there's a bit of like, like that it really becomes an issue, okay? You know, so yeah, but on a day-to-day basis, as a single person, like it's kind of all right, it's kind of easy. It's not easy, but it's not hard. Like you're not just there like, oh, I could just go get a penis anytime I fancy. Like you probably could, but like you're not just there. It's just not just there in front of you available. Do you know what I mean? It's not just in front of you available. Whereas when you're in a relationship, you know, you're attracted to this person, they're available, they like you as well, like you both have a really strong connection, you spend time with this person. Like look, the amount of boundaries that you actually need to have in place to not sleep with somebody when you're in a relationship is mad. And I commit, look, I have friends I know who abstained for years before they had sex. As in abstained for years before they got married. Honestly, if you're single and it's just not available to you and it's not something that you go out looking for, like you could just live your life and you just abstain, you're just cool. You just don't need to go for a bikini wax at all until you're married anyway. You could just let that forest grow. And by the time you're married, hopefully your man doesn't mind and you could just do it whenever you're feeling fancy and he's like, damn, this is exciting stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, right. Okay, and the last point I want to make, point number 5, you can learn to enjoy your own company, okay? I'm a mad extrovert, as in on the scale 92% apparently out of 100% extrovert. I like people, but I can really tell you that being single has made me appreciate my own company so much. Like I actually love my own company. I'm not going to lie to you. I love my own company because when I'm by myself, I get so much done. Like, I don't know, there's something so nice about it. Honestly, it's so great. And I feel like once you learn to enjoy your own company, it really frees you from the need to chase other people. And actually it helps you when you eventually do want a relationship, it comes from a much healthier place. Do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't come out of need or desperation. There's something about people who just love themselves, who like themselves, who enjoy themselves, that actually just attracts other people anyway. So it's just a handy byproduct. Like, honestly, it's a handy byproduct. Like, you actually become quite magnetic to other people because, believe it or not, a lot of people don't enjoy their own company. A lot of people aren't content within themselves. So when you're someone who is like that, you tend to draw people in because people are kind of like, yo, I want some of that drink she's sipping on. I want what she's got. Do you know what I mean? So that's already in and of itself like a nice byproduct of it. But yeah, you learn to enjoy your own company. Like, you learn to appreciate yourself. You learn to appreciate the time that you have with yourself, like on just a different level. Eventually, when you are with someone, that translates into so much more of a healthy relationship because you're both kind of in a place where you're like, I know I'm great by myself. I know that I'm whole by myself. I know that I enjoy my own company, but this person is an addition to me. Like, this person brings me more joy rather than brings me joy. Then you're not coming from a place of desperation. And I'm actually going to cover that in my next video. We're going to talk about why you need to not be desperate for a relationship, okay? The dangers of being desperate for a relationship. You don't want to be desperate for a relationship. Trust me, it causes problems. So yeah, anyway, so I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope that gave you a bit more of a positive mindset. Honestly, change your perspective about it. Being single is not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's not that there's something wrong with you. And if there is things that are wrong with you, this is the time to work on them, okay? And I don't mean wrong, but like, you know, development points. None of us are perfect. We all have things that we can get better at, develop at, work on. This is the perfect time to do it, right? This is the perfect time to do it. Anyway, so I hope that that video helped you. And if you got to the end of this video, please do drop a... What am I fancying today? What am I fancy dropping today? What emoji? What emoji are we going to drop today? Please drop the dancing woman or dancing man. The woman's like Spanish senorita and the guy's like disco guy. But but please drop one of the dancing man or women emojis because we might be single out here, but we are having a great time. Seriously, okay? So yeah, so anyway, I hope you like that, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? All right, love you, bye.